so excited. This is our first time to present from our graduate program, our MSW students. This is our third cohort coming through of our 2-year students, and it's from a project that they successfully completed over the fall semester session. And we have Tiffany, and they're all going to introduce themselves, but Tiffany and Faith and Emily and Jessica.
All right, so my name is Emily Hamilton, and we're going to present to you a project called Generalist Practice with Individuals, Families, and Groups, Competency Implementation and Evaluation. And these are my cohorts.
I'm Faith Naumcheff.
Tiffany Works.
Emily Aldredge. And Jessica Hullander.
The Council on Social Work Education has laid out 9 competencies of social work. And this project is designed to teach us and allow us to research and implement that research on these different competencies. So the project was covered an entire semester in 2 different courses. It was several steps. We met with a nursing home, and we were assigned a patient to act as our client for the semester. We connected with that patient. We engaged, assessed, intervened, and evaluated our patient by setting goals with them. We researched dementia in groups together as a cohort. And then as we researched that dementia, we put together activities for patients dealing with dementia. So we brought a few of those activities to show you. One of them is a balloon game, which I'm sure you've all played at some point in your life. And this helps our patients with their gross motor skills, and it also encourages them to engage. We also have a game called, we'll do that first, this one. We have a game called Name That Face, which encourages the patients to reminisce about different activities and people from their childhood. So you'll see Elvis there, and they really, really enjoy getting to sing us their best Dolly impersonations. And then we did a final stage of dementia activity that Tiffany's going to pass out and let you guys see, and you can pass them around. These are for them to be able to work on fine motor skills. And there's also some reminiscent activities in there, such as places to put photos or remembering small things like how to tie your shoes. And so we researched these different projects and we put them together. We went to the nursing home, we presented it to the resident council there, and we asked them, we had 6 different activities, and we asked them, which activities do you like the most? And these are the ones that they picked, along with a couple of other ones. And so then we went back and we did an event at the nursing home that the entire nursing home was invited to attend, and everyone participated in the event. So the goal of the project was to teach us the competencies of social work to prepare us to be good social workers. And so 2 of my cohorts are going to share with you what we learned about each competency.
Okay, so like she said, we kind of looked at the competencies set by the National Association of Social Workers, and we said, okay, so how do these apply to what we've been doing this entire semester in the nursing home? So the first competency is to demonstrate ethical and professional behavior. We showed up to the nursing homes dressed professionally, dressed appropriately. We completed the required paperwork, filled out the application, did the background check, TB test when needed, and we also just made sure that we stayed by those NASW code of ethics when working with our clients. For competency 2, we engaged diversity and difference in practice. So there were tons of differences between us and some of our residents. These included differences in gender, race, age, and ability status. So my client was 99. I am obviously not 99 years old, and she was wheelchair bound. So that was definitely 2 differences, and it was interesting to see her everyday day-to-day life was so much more different than me just because of her different ability status. I don't have to think twice about going to the restroom, but she had to have someone assist her. So it was definitely interesting to look at the differences between the 2. Competency number 3 is to advance human rights and social, economic, and environmental justice. So this really just included making sure that we were mindful of their rights at the facility. For the most part, they were allowed to kind of choose what they wanted to do in their time, and they were allowed to go outside if they wanted to, just making sure we were mindful of that, and also advocating for our clients when needed. So even if it was simple as one time I walked in and my client needed a Band-Aid, just going out and making sure she got that Band-Aid, because if I wasn't there, it could have been hours before she was able to scoot herself out there or someone coming to check on her. And competency number 4 is to engage in practice-informed research and research-informed practice. So this was really a large portion of what we did. Like she said, that dementia research we did, we studied the stages of dementia, the 3 of them, and then we were able to apply that, bring it to them, and do our activities out based on the research that we did and what they enjoyed. So now I'm going to let Emily finish this out.
All right, for Competency 5, we engaged in policy practice, and we did this by signing a visitor's contract for our nursing home. We also adhered to the policies and procedures of the nursing home that we visited. Competency 6 deals with engagement, and we did a lot of engagement with our patients throughout the 10 weeks. We also engaged with their families, the nursing home as a group, and our cohort as a group. Competency 7 is to assess individuals, families, groups, organizations, and communities, and we did that. We assessed our patients by creating a biopsychosocial assessment. We also assessed their families. We also assessed the needs of the residents when we researched dementia, and so we were able to implement that during our event. Competency number 8 is intervening with individuals, families, groups, organizations, and communities. And we were able to intervene with our residents by creating and setting goals and measurable objectives. My resident was a very lovely man who suffers from the advanced stages of dementia. And one of the things that I wanted to do with him was to help stimulate his memory. So we created a memory book. And by the end of our 10 weeks together, he was able to remember me and my name. So that was very touching. And that leads us into Competency 9, which is to evaluate. So I was able to evaluate that my patient completed his intervention, and we were also able to evaluate our cohort as a group. We were able to say how each of us were, how we performed together to create and to participate in our event.
We are very grateful to Jacksonville State and the School of Social Work here for the opportunity to be a part of the community of Jacksonville where we served, and now to be prepared and equipped to go out into our field placements where we've been serving all over Northeast Alabama, really. And we hope that through this project, and we know that through this project, we have been made better social workers, and that we will be able to serve others, to promote social justice, to fight for the dignity and worth of other people, to develop human relationships, and to work with integrity and competence in our field. So if you have any questions about anything that we have covered in our project, I would like to direct those to my other cohorts, Tiffany and Jessica.
I have a question. Having a father who was in a nursing home for a long time, I found that one of my main jobs was as an advocate for him constantly. What did you see in your experience in dealing with that?
For most of us, we had different levels of patients with patients with different levels of Alzheimer's disease. But in the case of severe Alzheimer's, I think the main thing to keep in mind is that we need to go into their world and to be able to read some nonverbal cues perhaps, to be able to assess their needs, and to be able to speak on behalf of them and let the individuals in the facility meet those needs for them. So, you know, it's being able to understand their nonverbal behavior and also just being around them often and figuring out the different behaviors that they do that mean certain things to them.
So I know that being in that environment can be really taxing. And so my question to you as social workers, what self-care did you use for yourselves when you left that environment? I'm sorry, I'm having difficulty speaking. But anyway, how did you take care of yourself after being in that difficult kind of emotional environment for a period of time?
Well, as part of our project, we also had to evaluate each other as a group as well, and so self-care was part of that evaluation. We wanted to check in with each other every day during class, after we met with our residents or patients in the nursing home. You know, we were able to vent or to talk about certain things or actually even compare experiences and be able to see how we could work through those things together. So in the process of looking at this group as a whole in the nursing home, we were able to also evaluate ourselves in the group as well. And we incorporated that self-care in there by essentially becoming family. So it was really interesting to see how our group grew together as a cohort.
I'll say too, for me personally, we had to journal the entire process, and that was very therapeutic for me because if something crazy was going on even at home, I was able to have a place to process, okay, how is my self-care, my things going on at home interacting with my patient care? And that was really good. I think that's all.
What things did you like the most about the care that people with dementia get, and what was the most challenging that you might think maybe we could do a better job at, just in general?
As social workers, the thing that I liked the most was being able to really get on a personal level with those individuals and understanding what level of Alzheimer's or dementia they were in to be able to meet their needs. Understanding the level of Alzheimer's or dementia that they are in allows us to be able to communicate better, to meet their needs better. And so that to me was the best part, was being able to communicate with someone that may not always be able to communicate back with us in the exact way that we communicate with them. So it was very interesting to learn those individuals. The thing that was most challenging is also that very exact same thing. Learning our residents and learning our patients and learning how to read them and understand the level that they are in so that we are able to meet their needs and to advocate for them. So both the best thing about it as well as the challenging thing about it. As far as the project is concerned, I think we can all agree that our favorite thing was coming up with our activities. That certainly is fun to do, and then going to the nursing home, participating with those residents. Those residents came into this room with us, and we were able to really play, and the balls were going everywhere, and you know, they were singing "You Ain't Nothing But a Hound Dog." You know, we really enjoyed doing these activities with them, and it really allowed us to connect together despite our differences. And that is really what social work is about, is to being able to connect with individuals with differences of us. And so that was challenging at the same time, but also very rewarding and a lot of fun. Yes.
What seemed to be everyone's favorite activity?
You know, we had 6 activities. We divided up into 2 groups, and one group came up with 3 activities. One activity was for mild, another for moderate, and another for severe dementia. The other group did the same thing. The first day that we went to the nursing home, we presented all 6 activities in small sections, not the activity altogether, but a little tidbit, if you will, of the activity. And then from there, they were able to pick what they liked. One of the activities that we didn't bring today was snapping peas, and that reached all levels of dementia. You know, we even actually enjoy sitting at the tables and snapping peas with them and talk, just, you know, it opened up an opportunity to have conversations with them. I don't know that there really was a favorite, just simply because the varying levels of dementia that we were working with in that room. And so to be able to reach everybody was great, and everybody was able at some point to participate in the activity in one way or another. Those who sometimes may not be able to speak can sing with certain types of dementia. So when Elvis popped up on the Name That Face, and Jailbird Rock or Jailhouse Rock, you know, comes to mind, and they want to start singing that, or The Coat of Many Colors by Dolly Parton, or when JFK was assassinated, you know, that at the moment seems like their favorite. But we're also sitting there shelling peas, and the ball's still bouncing back and forth, and it wasn't overstimulating to these residents. It just created a great environment for all of us to connect, no matter where we were in our lifespan.
Any other questions? Let's thank all of our speakers.